KWTX, Central Texas News Leader. This is News 10 Tonight.
Guess who may not be making an appearance at the Grammy Awards? CBS says they've already put on enough of a show.
And we'll show you why the twisted wreckage of cars in an accident may actually be signs that safety measures are working.
Can we dodge the wintry precipitation bullet again this week? Or will the moisture mix it up with the cold air on Friday? We'll have answers in weather on deck shortly.
First tonight, the search for a Florida girl whose kidnapping was caught on a surveillance camera has kicked into high gear. Finding 11-year-old Carly Bruscia could depend on two things: an activated Amber Alert and the video that caught her abduction. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Department first believed she might be a runaway, but that changed after investigators saw what could be their most compelling piece of evidence: surveillance video. It shows a white man in his 20s or 30s approaching the 11-year-old Sunday evening behind a car wash she was using as a shortcut to get home. The video catches a few seconds of conversation before the man takes Carly by the forearm and leads her away. Each minute since is a lifetime for her frantic parents and the authorities searching for her.
Make no mistake about it, we believe that Carly was taken against her will, and we are treating this as an abduction. We fear for her safety.
If anybody has seen this, they need to call. She's so special. And I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. She's just so special.
Authorities say the abductor has a tattoo on each of his arms. The FBI and NASA is helping to further enhance the videotape to get a better description.
Senate staffers are on watch tonight after possible exposure to a deadly poison. Mailroom workers in the Senate building found an active form of ricin yesterday. The powder can actually kill, but so far no one who regularly uses the Senate office building has shown any signs of sickness. On the Senate floor, Majority Leader Bill Frist said it was obvious the powder was sent with intent to harm, but new procedures put in place following anthrax attacks in 2001 may have helped protect workers.
We don't have any evidence yet that we have had anybody with significant symptoms.
All the examinations of any filters or air systems we have done since the beginning of this continue to be negative, and that is a good sign.
Authorities expect the Senate buildings to stay closed for days while they investigate. For now, Senators Kay Bailey Hutchison and John Cornyn are working out of other offices.
The Undersecretary for the Border and Transportation Security says having the right technology is key to keeping Texans safe from terrorist attacks. Asa Hutchison, whose job is under the umbrella of the Department of Homeland Security, met with officials in Houston today to discuss the ongoing war on terrorism. Texas has numerous border checkpoints and port entries to consider when it comes to Homeland Security.
So even though I think we have done a substantial amount, clearly more work needs to be done. And I think that a strategy is important. And the strategy that we have put together, first of all, is that we have to have technology to use in Homeland Security.
The town hall meeting was held at the Baker Institute for Public Safety on the campus of Rice University in Houston.
A staff sergeant from West Virginia was identified today as the Fort Hood soldier killed in a weekend mortar attack. 27-year-old Staff Sergeant Roger Turner Jr. died in Balad from injuries sustained in a mortar attack on a 4th Infantry Division logistics support base. He was based at Fort Hood. Meanwhile, the now well-known hiding place near Tikrit, where Fort Hood's 4th ID captured Saddam Hussein, will be sealed up. Authorities say they want to cover up the bunker to prevent it from becoming a larger tourist attraction in the future. A team of Army engineers from the 4th ID have been instructed to study the best way to cover up the hole. And word so far is that the infamous bunker hole will likely be covered up with concrete.
More primary victories for Democratic presidential frontrunner John Kerry tonight. John Edwards won in his native state of South Carolina, but Kerry has claimed the North Dakota caucuses on top of primary victories in New Mexico, Missouri, Arizona, and Delaware. Wesley Clark has won in Oklahoma. All was not well for Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman, who never seemed to get his campaign into gear. he's announced that he's getting out of the race.
The judgment of the voters is now clear, and I want to congratulate John Kerry and John Edwards on the victories that they have won today.
Next up on Saturday, Michigan and Washington State. Meanwhile, administration officials were on Capitol Hill today to begin trying to sell Congress on the president's new budget. The president's $2.4 trillion budget includes $521 billion in deficit spending. The administration says the deficit is manageable, and in today's KWTX online poll, we asked if you agree. 20.5% of you said you do. 79.5% said you don't. Log on to KWTX.com to vote on our online polls.
CBS is taking no chances with the Grammys after what happened during the Super Bowl halftime show. The network's technicians are working on software that allows CBS to delay video as well as bleep out inappropriate audio. The move follows the halftime musical number during which Justin Timberlake tore off part of Janet Jackson's bustier and exposed her breast. The Federal Communications Commission expressed outrage at the incident and plans to launch an investigation into not just Janet Jackson's performance, but the whole MTV-produced show. Meanwhile, a CBS executive speaking on condition of anonymity says the network may ask to ban Jackson and Timberlake from the Grammys if CBS concludes the exposure was intentional. Timberlake is scheduled to perform at the Grammys while Jackson is to present an award. The Grammys will be handed out Sunday in Los Angeles. Well, they had better than front row seats to the Super Bowl, but they missed the revealing moment the whole country's talking about. MTV chose this group of Mejia High School students to be part of the crowd of performers surrounding the halftime stages. They were positioned just behind Janet Jackson and said they missed her end of show stunt. The group said they're disappointed that the 2 seconds of live television has overshadowed their experience of a lifetime.
Because they weren't really focusing on what everyone else was there for and why they were there. I mean, they were there to entertain. They weren't there to give a little show.
It's all they've talked about, and I just want to put a sign on my back that says, you know, it wasn't supposed to happen.
They attended rehearsals before the performance and said they saw no hint of what Jackson and Timberlake had in mind for the show finale.
Both sides rested today in the punishment phase of the trial of a Waco detention center escapee convicted of capital murder in the death of his former girlfriend. On Friday, a federal jury found Sherman Lamont Fields guilty in the November 2001 escape from the McLennan County Detention Center and the shooting of his former girlfriend, Sunsere Coleman. Now they must determine whether he'll receive the death penalty. Today, prosecutors called Coleman's mother and sister to the stand, both of whom read statements to the jury about the impact of the murder on their family. Prosecutors also called a psychiatrist to the stand who told jurors that Fields would be a future danger to others, including inmates and prison guards, should he be given a life prison sentence. The defense called its own experts today who testified that Fields' past behavior is a product of a chaotic childhood riddled with violence and crime. They told jurors that Fields is capable of furthering his education and helping others. Closing arguments in the punishment phase are set for Thursday afternoon.
Even veteran officers expressed surprise after a series of deadly accidents in Central Texas that literally left cars torn in pieces. But one local expert says those cars did what they were designed to do. Stephanie Cerna has that story.
The accident surprised even veteran investigators. This one in Reagan on Thursday left a Houston woman dead, her car broken into 3 parts. And this one in Waco on Friday killed a man and an infant, both passengers in a car that split in half when it was broadsided by an oncoming SUV.
Depending on the weight of the vehicle, depending on the force of the impact, depending on the angle that it happened, has a lot to do with how a vehicle breaks down.
The TSTC Auto Collision Department Chairman Archie Watley says it's a common misconception that newer vehicles will break apart more easily than older ones.
This vehicle gets hit from the front. This shuts down just like an accordion.
Instead, Watley says newer cars are built to absorb most of the impact of the collision to protect those inside.
The design is built so that the passenger section is protected. That means that there are predetermined collapse points in the vehicle. So that means the energy has to be absorbed before it gets to the passenger section.
Whatley says older cars dating back to the 70s and before were built with fuller frames. But as technology has improved, manufacturers have moved away from the fuller frame, creating cars that may not survive accidents so that passengers will.
Because there was a need to lessen the weight of vehicles because of energy consumption, automobile manufacturers had to go into a different design, which caused them to build unitized vehicles. That means vehicles did not have a full frame anymore.
And now vehicles are designed with more safety features to protect the passenger.
They will find that in older vehicles, about the safety feature that was there was seat belts. The newer vehicles, you have side impact bags, you have side impact boards, you have side curtains, you have front airbags, you have airbag sensors. There are just so many safety features there till it far outweighs the old vehicles.
Stephanie Cerna, News 10, Waco.
Governor Rick Perry was in Central Texas today promoting a plan for academic excellence in Texas schools. Perry told students, teachers, and administrators at Belton High about his plans to offer financial rewards to schools that meet goals of excellence. The plan proposes cash for schools in which teachers and students excel. Coming up with funds for the incentive program is a challenge that legislators will face when they're called back to Austin to address school finance reform sometime later this year.
Later in sports, Bobby Knight is courtside tonight after being reprimanded for losing his cool again.
And next, Krispy Kreme has its grand opening. We'll see what competitors think.
Just announced these limited time offers from your Texas Ford dealer. Get F-150 Heritage with $3,000 cash back or choose 0% financing for up to 60 months. And just announced the all-new, completely redesigned Ford F-150, the 2004 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Now with super low 0% financing or $1,000 cash back. Two tough trucks, two great offers, but only for a limited time. See them both at your Texas Ford dealer today.
Providing a proper memorial for a loved one can be a very difficult proposition. At Phipps Memorial, we provide services to make this difficult time a little bit easier. Phipps Memorial will work with you on any type of payment plan, interest-free. Phipps Custom Memorial Service allows a family to see exactly what they're buying and avoid expensive disappointments. Compare price, compare workmanship, and then come see Phipps Memorial, where for generations they've believed that a gift from the heart should not be a heartbreaking expense.
Thousand man who faces any danger, rolling the prices back for friend and stranger. He's the rollback man. He's the rollback man. He's changing all those numbers. Lower prices are his game.
Our rollback mission to save you even more. Walmart, always low prices, always.
There's a new deep-fried kit on the block in Waco.
Krispy Kreme donuts opened for business bright and early this morning. Lines were long as Central Texans gathered yesterday evening to get their first taste of the sweet treat. The new store employs close to 100 people, features drive-through service and plenty of in-store seating. Among its competitors, Krispy Kreme isn't, as you might think, being viewed as the big bully on the block. Mike Barger has more.
After much anticipation and a lot of talk about donuts, Krispy Kreme opened to long lines this morning.
It was crazy. We had some campers that came out here last night about 7:30, and the line was all the way out to the end of the curb when we opened the door at 5:30, and it was great. It was great.
The 60-year-old company has finally arrived in Central Texas.
You know, you hope for it, but you never know what's going to happen.
Just down the street, another donut shop was doing a brisk business. One of its best Tuesdays ever, in fact.
I guess all the talk about donuts is all I can really figure.
Shipley Donuts has been around Waco for more than 10 years. Folks here welcome the competition and say it'll be good for everyone.
And
there are a couple of things Jeff January says sets Shipley apart from all the hoopla down the street.
We have the kolaches. We also have hot glazes just like everyone else does. But we also have a handmade quality with pastries. Everything's handmade every day.
So let the donut wars begin. But January hopes there's enough appetite to go around. Mike Barger, News 10, Waco.
I think I'm hungry again.
Yep.
Still ahead, some Waco City leaders are hoping that plans for a major hotel by the river are not forgotten.
And in sports, Bobby Knight gets a slap on the wrist but is still courtside for tonight's game against Baylor. We'll have the highlight.
She's been called one of the best in Texas, Arlene Wolgamuth. Wife of 36 years, mother of 2, 5-term state representative, Arlene Wolgamuth was twice named one of the 10 best legislators in Texas. A pro-life conservative, Arlene Wolgamuth voted to protect the lives of the unborn and defend the sanctity of marriage. Working with Governor Bush, she helped pass the largest tax cut in Texas history.
I'm Arlene Wolgamuth. I'll protect our Texas values. That's why I authorize this message.
You know what I like about Texas? It's the Dairy Queens I love in my life. They're a part of me, they're family. I love them longer than I love my own wife.
Nothing's better than a classic DQ Hunger Buster. Juicy beef, tangy mustard, lettuce, tomato, pickles, and onion. Grab a Hunger Buster and DQ fries for $1.99. Plus, DQ banana splits are on sale for $1.99.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
You're watching News 10 on KWTX, Central Texas News Leader.
When you want it your way, the experts at Unpainted Furniture know exactly what that means. With the finest woods available, superior craftsmanship, and unbeatable service, you'll find what you're looking for and so much more. Unpainted Furniture, your furniture expert. For plumbing repair and new installation, the experts at Mike Stoss Services bring you expert experience with the most reliable and efficient service in Central Texas. Plus, they're there when you call. So don't wait around lost. Call the experts at Mike Stoss.
Waco is still looking into getting a 4-star hotel, but chances are it won't be paid for by the city. City Council discussed the possibilities tonight. A plan to build a city-owned 4-star Marriott Hotel and Conference Center in downtown Waco fell through last month. It would have been financed through city-backed bonds, direct subsidies, and hotel tax revenue. City Council members say they don't want to abandon the effort and are looking at several options, including private funding.
There's the possibility of taking a request for proposal where we just put it out there and see who brings an interest. I think that all the council members are hoping that we'll have some interest with private investment.
Mission Waco marked 12 years of serving the community with a banquet tonight. The UR banquet was held at the Waco Convention Center with renowned Christian speaker, author, and sociologist Dr. Tony Campolo as the guest speaker. Mission Waco is a Christian organization that was designed to provide services to low-income children and adults who benefit from a wide variety of programs, and the need is great in Waco.
Waco is a town with a lot of poverty. 29% of our kids grow up below the poverty line, and there's a lot of people in need, children, youth, and adults, and Mission Waco is a ministry that tries to reach those folks and empower them so they can be more self-sufficient.
Mission Waco focuses its programs on kids in low-income housing projects, teens on the brink of juvenile crime, and adults struggling with addiction, unemployment, and homelessness.
I think I got spoiled with our warm weather. Another chilly night.
And it's going from not so good to a lot worse.
Well, it's getting wetty to get wetty, getting wetty to get real wet. Yeah, I think we're on a countdown to some showers. They're already trying to form out west of us, but I think it'll probably be more toward morning. We'll talk about that next.
Here are tonight's winning Texas lottery numbers.
Conservative values on the dot. Dot Snyder, the school board president who guarded tax dollars, turning a deficit into a surplus. She put an end to social promotion, creating a model for the Bush education reform.
In Congress, I'll stand with President Bush. I'll work for lower taxes and new federal judges who respect our values.
Conservative values on the dot. Dot Snyder.
I'm Dot Snyder, and I approve this message because Central Texas needs a conservative in Congress.
Come to Compatible Furniture in downtown Waco and learn how your income tax refund can be done free. File your tax return and receive your money in 48 to 72 hours. Plus here you'll find great savings. For example, this sofa love seat just $8.99, cherry or oak curios only $1.29, or this 3-piece bedroom suite for just $6.99. And we also carry the natural gas Dearborn space heaters. Let us help you with your tax refund at Compatible Furniture, 625 Franklin in downtown Waco. We're left on the corner and right on the prize.
Whoa, whoa, Pepperman. I got my own.
Is that your cell phone?
Yeah, it's got all kinds of features.
Like email and text messaging?
No, but it's got this. It's Parmesan. It's cheese.
That's practical.
Do we think alike or what? With Alltel Access, you get the things you need. The latest games, ringtones, email, and more. It makes your phone more than a phone. The features you really need?
You got that right.
Alltel.
We certainly have cloudy skies over central Texas, but Doppler 10 Live scanning all around does not depict any radar echoes just yet. Let's go on to the next rad, National Weather Service radar, the past 12 hours, and we've seen a few little sprinkles that have tried to form and are moving slowly to the east, but a lot of this is not reaching the ground yet. Those clouds will lower and the showers will probably begin as we head toward morning. Look at this beautiful sky. Now, when you got this much high and mid-level cloudiness around the sunset hour, it can really provide some beautiful colors, as we see from this time lapse of Skycam 10 over Waco. Look at the orange explosion here. Great looking sunset. Wow. Well, the temperatures right now in the Waco-Temple-Killeen area are in the upper 40s. The winds are out of the southeast at 15. Let's see where the readings were today on the Coleman Autoplex School Watch graphic. The high 54 degrees at McGregor Elementary, but it got up to 57 at Sims Intermediate in Mejia and 56 on Fort Hood at Venable Village. And as cold this morning as 29. The official low temperature was 26. And Waco Airport had a high of 55 degrees today. Well, let's move on to the forecast map, and we've already seen a depiction of snow on the Texas South Plains, Panhandle, and the Western Plains states. That will continue through morning. 42 degrees. You could probably inch that area of rain a little closer. I think our western counties will be into some showers, and then we'll all get into the rain game during the course of the day. Periodic showers, maybe 1 or 2 thunder showers. Snow staying to the north of us, mainly along and north of the Red River, but it will be quite a little snow event for the state of Oklahoma. Eventually, that will work on off as the low pressure departs. We'll begin to get into a northerly wind. 43 Thursday morning, followed by highs in the 50s day after tomorrow, but wind chills probably in the 30s and the 40s. Well, here are the satellite pictures into motion, and here comes that disturbance slowly inching its way toward West Texas and cranking out quite a bit of snow. This pink here would be the representation of some sleet, and then we've just got those sprinkles that are trying to form out in West Texas tonight, not all of which are reaching the ground. 33 near freezing now in both Amarillo and Albuquerque. In the 20s from Dodge City back to Denver, in the lower 20s up there around Kansas City, and 20 right now at St. Louis compared to 50 degrees down at New Orleans. And let's look at the rest of the nation's weather. And we'll see that our system is getting better organized out here. This spin in the atmosphere is a low pressure aloft, and as it moves closer and closer to us during the early morning hours, the rain will certainly start to reach the ground, and again, there will be quite an abundance of snowfall in the plain states. Cold high pressure, tandem lows up here in the upper Midwest represent some of the colder air that's moving now southeast out of central provinces of Canada. 18 below right now in Bismarck. On the East Coast, milder comparatively speaking than it was just a week or so ago, in the middle 30s from Boston to New York City to Washington, D.C., 71 mild degrees in Miami. Let's check the wind chill factors up here. Actually feels like 15 below in Minneapolis, and when the wind is blowing up in North Dakota, it can be a very uncomfortable feel. 36 below currently in Bismarck. Well, here's our forecast. Cloudy for the time being. Low temperatures in the morning between 39 and about 43. Southeast winds 10 to 15. May get into some rain in the pre-dawn hours. Certainly a pretty good bet that we're going to see periods of rain and a few thunderstorms during the day. And then the rain will move out, and Thursday we'll get up to 55 ahead of a cold front that'll come through and bring some chilly air in. 32 Thursday night, a blustery Friday, high of only 40 degrees with strong northerly winds, and 27 Friday night. Then Saturday and Sunday, it will slowly warm back up again.
Thankful we're not in Bismarck.
We'll be right back.
We took a What a Chicken sandwich, added a slice of melted pepper jack cheese, and topped it off with tomato salsa. The pepper jack salsa What a Chicken. Now that's what we call a humdinger.
What a burger!
Just like you like it.
At KWTX-TV, we know that legal questions can be confusing and complicated, and when you need help, you may not know who to ask. Take the guesswork out of finding the information and the attorney you need. Call the KWTX legal line at 1-866-KWTX-LAW. Get answers and find out about attorneys for your situation. When you're not sure where to turn, just call the legal line at 1-866-KWTX-LAW. Legal Line, a community service of KWTX-TV and sponsored by the Williams, Squires & Wren trial firm in Waco.
Hey, Randy, I need an ink cartridge.
We all have needs, Julie.
It's got sprinkles. Thanks.
Legal pads.
Can I get some pens?
I need some file folders. Half a Danish, half a folder.
Say, Randy, I went to Staples.
Staples, Randy.
It was easy, Randy.
Very easy.
What do you want from me?
Cream puff.
You monster.
Staples. That was easy.
A chance of a lifetime. Itzhak Perlman with the Waco Symphony Orchestra. September 27, 2004. Call 754-0851.
New technology may help spot cancer sooner.
That's tonight's Family Health Report. The National Cancer Institute has begun a major study to prove a new blood test detects early relapses of ovarian cancer. The test looks at protein patterns in the blood that could show when normal cells turn cancerous. The FDA has not yet approved the test, but some national testing labs are already putting it to use.
Now let's check in with Matt in the News 10 Sports Zone.
The Lions on the prowl tonight.
Absolutely, Gordon. Waco High has a golden opportunity to get back in the 13-5A district race with first place Bryan in town. We have those highlights. Plus, the Baylor Bears face Bobby Knight and Texas Tech on the High Plains. Is it better than facing Knight at a salad bar? We'll answer that next.
Texas has some big jobs, and Dodge Ram Heavy Duty handles them all. With the most powerful line of engines in Texas, including a new available Cummins Turbo Diesel, backed for 7 years or 100,000 miles, or an available Hemi with up to 345 horsepower. And now get 0% 0% financing plus a $2,000 cash allowance. Another reason your Texas Dodge dealer has the best values in America.
These people are wearing dentures. If we hadn't told you, you would have never known. He's not a model. He's an actual patient of Dr. Jimmy Brown of Temple Dental Center. For natural-looking, very affordable dentures and beautiful crown and bridge work, call Temple Dental Center today at 791-5700. Come celebrate with us as we open our newest location in Georgetown, Georgetown Dental Center. Remember, if you are cosmetically demanding or have ill-fitting teeth, call us today. Temple Dental Center, making excellence affordable.
This is my rec. Jim Adler is my lawyer. He got me $150,000 for my case.
This is my rec. Jim Adler's my lawyer, and he got me $100,000 for my settlement.
This is my rec. Jim Adler got me $71,000 for my settlement.
I'm Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. If you've been hurt in a car or truck wreck, call me right now for free.
Jim Adler got me $360,000 for my car wreck settlement. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. Car or truck wreck, call me right now for free.
Call 254-876-6565.
News 10 Sports is brought to you by Gloff Motors, where you can save $7,000 on this 04 Chevy HD 4x4 Crew Cab diesel pickup at Gloff Motors in Clifton, where cars are like eggs. They're cheaper in the country.
Now, from the Sports Zone, at Izzetti, sports to the power of 10.
Perhaps tougher than taking on Bobby Knight at a grocery store salad bar, taking on the Red Raiders in Lubbock. Baylor hasn't won on the High Plains since 1998. Tech opens the first half on fire. Mikey Marshall off the turnover, ahead on the break, and he gets the big dunk. Tech goes up by as many as 11, but the Bears storm back, going on a run of their own. Carl Marshall gets loose, gets the layup, the foul, and a 1-point Baylor lead. Later on, Tommy Swanson swooning to the rim for the putback dunk. The green and gold goes to the locker room all locked up with Tech 34-all. Second half, the Red Raiders' big guns answer the call. Ronald Ross bullies Matt Saman for 2 of his 22. Then Andre Emmett brings down the house with a pair of his 25. 83-63. Tech improves to 17-4. Matt Saman is the high point man for Baylor with 14 as they return home to face A&M in Waco on Saturday. After the game, though, Coach Knight spoke on yesterday's lunchtime incident.
Got back and forth a little bit, but the one thing there was that I absolutely did not instigate anything. We decided last night that if that's the way it went with suspension, I would go through whatever means were available to fight that, but I would have stayed through the suspension simply because I feel so strongly about this situation, this school, this community, and these kids.
Meanwhile, Baylor's Brazos brethren, the Aggies, are looking for their first Big 12 win against Oklahoma State and trying to halt a 6-game losing streak. Melvin Watkins, Eddie Sutton cordial before the game first half. Antoine Wright finds some open floor and cans the jumper. He tallies 14 points, but John Lucas leads the way for the Polks, hitting the buzzer beater to end the half. OSU wins this one easily, 91-79. Lucas, the Baylor transfer, has a career-high 27 points. Well, tomorrow, a bevy of high school football products will ink their letters of intent to colleges. Tonight, though, the high school focus is on the hardwood. Waco's Torrey DeGrade is expected to sign with Texas A&M. He's ready for Bryan High this evening, though. C.J. Richards gets the Lions out of the gate. Sick crossover move, step back for 3, and that's in. Big Red jumps out to an early lead in the first. Torrey DeGrade, this time the steal, the drive to the hole for the deuce. Waco rolls over their Highway 6 rivals, 85-69. In 2A, Dan Campbell, Cowboys tight end, on hand to see Clifton and Crawford. The Pirates hoping to avoid their first district loss. Cubs headed the way of the upset early. Chris Lemons with the 3. Later, though, the home team bounces back. Lee Murphy, good from long distance. Crawford moves to 6-0. Well, the Lady Pirates also unbeaten, take care of Clifton as well. Julie Heller steps up and rips the triple, leading the team with 18 points tonight. From there, the defense takes over and opens up the opportunities. Becky Christian, the steal. Kathy Nance gets the bucket on head on the break. Crawford cruises by 30. In the NBA, Dallas outshines Golden State 107-93. The Mavs stop a 2-game losing streak. Pro basketball is definitely a nice living, but the glitz, glamour, and community-minded attitude of being a globetrotter are hard to top. This evening, the world-famous team treats the Farrell Center crowd to a wonderful show of skill and comedy. The players all grew up with NBA aspirations, but being part of the Globetrotters is something they definitely don't regret for a second.
I had a dream of playing professional basketball, no point on the NBA, but we can do what those guys can do, but they can't even dream about doing what we do. So, you know, I've been to 65 countries, I've traveled around the world, and I get to play basketball for a living, and I get to change people's lives for maybe 2.5 hours, make them forget their problems and everything like that, and just have a good time.
The Waco Marshals are busy putting together a franchise and building a fan base. Today they killed 2 birds with 1 stone, signing former Baylor Bear Odell James. James will play quarterback and hopes to bring some excitement to the HOT with his football skills.
I'm preparing for the battle. You know, I've been through it for 7 years, and you know, I humble myself. When they see me do something spectacular on the football field, they're going to know that it's coming from God, not from Odell James.
It'll be interesting to see who the Marshals sign next. Gordon, Elise, and Rusty.
Matt, you were right. That was a sick crossover move. What does that mean?
I have no idea. So that means we need to go to Rusty.
Okay. Let me pick that ball up, see if I can't throw it here. Let's go for some rain, about a 90% coverage tomorrow. The high getting up to 48, and there could be some thunder and maybe some lightning, but we're not expecting severe weather. Thursday, a little milder at 55, and then Thursday night, colder air arrives down to 32 and up to only 40 on Friday. Watch out on those winds. It'll be a cold and blustery Friday.
Boy, that sounds
Saturday
awesome.
and Sunday, it'll slowly warm up.
Very good. Thanks, Rusty.
We're out of time. Thanks for watching.
Our next news at 6 a.m. Good night.
Good night.
You've been watching News 10 Tonight on KWTX, the most watched newscast in Central Texas.
Catch a new Survivor All-Stars episode, CBS Thursday at 8, 7 Central.
From New York, the greatest city in the world, it's The Late Show.